So, good afternoon. We are here today at the fifth edition of ESFE. Today, I'm joined by
Dr. Rouble Tuli
and Shikha Dutt.
We're so thankful to have you guys here today. Starting off with the first question, today you guys spoke about the role the parents have in today's education space. How do you think it has evolved over the years, and parents have actually started becoming more involved, engaged, maybe even concerned?
Indeed, they are more concerned, more involved, and they're more aware, I would say,
Right.
because everything is just available in the space so much, being on internet and everything. People are very aware with all the ideas, what's happening in the world. So yes, parents are very aware, and they are using it in both right and wrong ways. I would say.
And I think
Yeah.
interestingly, there are now two waves running in the world. So there used to be this feminism where the woman would talk about going out and doing work. And now I think there is homemaking, which is becoming a common occupation of not only the mother, but also of the
Father
father.
as well.
Right.
Increasingly, the fathers are becoming homemakers as well. They are helping in the household chores. They're involved in the diaper changing, to the homework completion of the child, to the PT needs. So I think yes, it's parenting as a journey, the way we look at it as a perspective is important.
100%. So, with this evolvement, how do you ensure that the parents are actually ensured that the children are comfortable in their learning environments? How do we ensure that that comfort is being provided so that they have confidence in the education system?
I think there should be a balance. I
Right.
mean, nowadays the children are overprotected, and the parents are somewhere more ambitious. That should not be there. They should understand the streak of the child, what the child wants, and there has to be the balance, because when they are growing, they require that space to grow, and the parents should be giving that space.
And also, there is this beautiful word which Shikha and I often speak acceptance. Parents need to accept what their child's leanings are, that's one. With that acceptance, they'll be able to think more rationally, more broadly, of what all they can do for their child, practically as well, educationally as well. That's one part. And also, I think the schools need to work as a bridge these days because the learning at school and at home, there is a need of synchronization so that the child gets a more conducive environment. So that's the second challenge.
Right. So, we talk about holistic learning a lot. We talk about how experiential learning builds an environment where the students are able to learn in a more natural pace. How do we ensure that this is actually taking place without parents having that fear about it straying away from traditional methods?
Oh, yes.
See, indeed, I mean, we are going away a bit from traditional methods. We are getting more westernized. There are more international boards. Experiential learning is happening, but then it's little superficial. The parents' involvement at home is little less. It's more, for the show. So it is happening, but just for the show. I mean, we need to make sure it has to be more deep.
So I
Yeah.
think the understanding, I agree with what she said, the understanding of what those terms really stand for. For example, experiential learning is often confused with the need to have a laboratory. No, maybe I think we can function well enough if there are discussions alone in the class. Simple with visualization, show the pictures to the child, make him do some kinesthetic activities, show him some YouTube videos, then let him talk. That's more than enough. So I think all these jargons which schools are increasingly inventing, that's creating the industry more complex, that's creating the market more saturated, that's making the parents lose their trust and faith on the
And the
system.
parents are more confused now.
So we need to really bring back the foundational meaning of these words so that actionable steps can be taken not only by the teachers but also by the parents.
So, do you believe that there should be a balance between traditional and more modern methods, or do you believe that simply the communication to the parents is enough
I
to
think
give the rationale?
for this I would answer that when we talk about traditional, India's traditional method was anyway Gurukuls, right? And Gurukuls were anyway about teaching less but teaching deep. There was a harmony between the person's motor involvement and finer involvement and intellectual involvement. And in NEP, there is this lovely Posh concept, different Poshas of how a child learns. So our traditions was already what this modern curriculum is bringing. I mean, you minus the computer labs, you get as much of a thinking, cognitively, intellectually involved pedagogy.
Right. So both of you having tremendous spaces on the digital platforms as well. How would you say that having a space on digital platforms leverages the idea of education and what you're trying to define education as in today's world?
I think getting the digital space like that has made us quite vocal. We have out from from Amritsar we are,
Right.
and we have reached out to the people who we didn't know, and to the whole world.
I think our parenting
Yeah.
notes, our teacher training experiments were limited to us initially.
Yeah, it was just our parents, our kindergarten.
It was like somebody's personal notes for his exams, which was our children.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, with this social media thing, our perspective began resonating with thousands of parents out there.
And somewhere I've seen many people believe in what we are saying. I mean, and they're thinking the same thing. It's just that we need to get together to bring this change.
Absolutely, and we see that change happening. We see the kind of ideas we started it, but we took the initiative of supporting those ideas. More and more school leaders are endorsing those. So I think if parents could come together, there can be a very transformative impact we can bring in the industry.
What perspective changes would you say you've had through social media itself? Or maybe even you've seen something that has articulated exactly what you've been thinking?
For us, social media was just a photo editing software initially.
Right.
We were
Till last
outmoded.
year.
Until last year, it was just like, okay, put up a picture and edit it. We learned Reel this year, the concept of Reel. And so I think the biggest perspective change which it has brought is now we can help, we become this bridge now between the parenting community and the teachers and the schools. And you're able to create glue, or the word we use today, amalgamate that difference to create synergy where they can work together truly as the three stakeholders, which always work, the parents, students, and the
It
teachers.
has to be a symbiotic
So
relationship. Yeah.
we have realized the power of social media. We have realized that if it can be used for the positive, it can be an effective Krantikari is the Hindi word. The
And revolutionize the world.
It can be the revolutionary voice.
100%. And I think in today's world, a lot of individuals thrive off of that interaction, right? So, throughout the years, what is one observation that you've made about how students are today and what their attitudes are to education itself?
Currently, what I feel the students are a little away from the target because there's so many again, so many things are there on the platter.
Right.
They don't know what to go for, and we as teachers and parents, I think we need to guide them in a better way for a better future. They are right now in a very confused state.
Or like we say, the children are busy to the brim, to the neck,
True.
but they're not really taking initiative. I mean, they're running on the treadmill of life,
They don't know where
but
they're
they're
reaching.
not reaching anywhere because it's a treadmill. So I think it's high time we could let these children cognitively understand their life and answer that age-old question of who am I? Why did I take birth?
What's my purpose?
How I can contribute? What's my purpose? The children need the time, the space, and the encouragement to realize this answer, at least by the time they're in grade 12. We see children, they have the degrees of graduation, and still they're unsure. They forget
Switch
that
careers because
end of the day, this body is your experience window.
Right.
What you want to look out of it, you can really work on
How do we ensure that that confusion is eased a little bit?
it. Should we talk about the three-legged career counseling thing? So we believe that the career counseling that a lot of schools talk about is very superficial, is very surface. They think career counseling is just about giving child endless number of career options. It's about understanding, making the child identify his leanings, his interests. It's about helping him see how those interests are materialized in the outside world by apprenticeships and internships, as you guys are doing. And above everything, it's about bridging that journey or creating a trajectory or a track. That's your dream, and how educationally we can connect it. Otherwise, all you would get is students with degree but still knowing nothing, or a lot of dropouts frustrated with the system. So we really need to create that
Perfect
singularity,
ecosystem for the
the
same.
ecosystem and the track.
Right. So what I gauge is there's a lot of systematical changes that need to be implemented. Do you think India is actually ready for that?
I think it's getting
With
ready.
the mindset of
It's getting ready. Many
parents.
people are talking what we are talking right now. So I think it's the
If
foundation is
parents,
getting laid.
if parents can dare to challenge, for example, we talk about boards. India was already giving a board called NIOS, which actually, when we spoke about first, it caught fire. NIOS is the National Institute of Open Schooling, which allows any child in the world, and that is India's gift to the world.
To
It
explore
allows
what the
any
child
child
wants.
to, if they don't fit into the system, why don't they create their own system? So if a child feels that no, I want to do more of music, he could do more of that. And only when there are bridge classes like grade 3, grade 5, grade 8, grade 10 and 12, he could appear for the exams. An Indian system allows them to take those exams over 2 years. They allow them to flexibly pick their subjects. Everything that international boards are really talking about, India had already brought it as another board. But the challenge is more and more parents need to be aware of it. We need to make it normalized.
I think we need to unlearn to learn again.
Yeah.
that that will take a process, definitely, with knowledge and conversations that need to be taken place. Talking about more newer models, say perhaps homeschooling, digital learning, do you think that is something compatible with Indian parents, or even the student itself? How do you think that that leverages their opportunities to be more flexible, practical to their identities?
See, nowadays, if we are talking about the technology and all, that has brought a change how the student is learning and doing things. If I talk about my son, he's very good at art. Digitally, he's creating such great work. I mean, the technology has brought the change how the kids are doing the learning nowadays. It has created a different way of
So
learning.
coming to my previous answer, it's about the parents being ready to take the initiative. Platforms are there, but parents have simple doubts. Will my degree be acceptable? Will my child be fitting into the system later on? Will it be too much of a risk? Will he be capable enough? Parents need to understand that no matter how busy you make your child or no matter what degree you give them, eventually, if they can fend for themselves, they can sit for a job interview, they can convince the employer that they can contribute. Even employers do not care about the degrees. And life or education is about basic proficiencies. So, the best of entrance tests in the world, whether it's a proficiency or an entrance test, they assess your language and your quant. After
The two
that,
main subjects, yeah.
there is you could add reasoning to it, and then you have the job interview. So if you really see closely, it's about making our children ready to be able to communicate that they can contribute in whatever niche they pick up. So platforms are there. Parents need to shed off those inhibiting questions which make them lesser daring. Parents need to educate themselves more about what are the possibilities are. They maybe need to create these clubs and associations among themselves. And together they have these open schoolers, who help each other. So maybe that could be a way that they could avail those benefits.
You spoke a little about making sure that the child is ready for the world. Could you expand a little about what you mean by that and how that can actually take place?
I think when you see the best of universities, you pay them the fees and they're ready to give you whatever degree you want. So making your children ready with all that is not exactly what they need. All that a child, all that a child really needs until grade 12, I would say is number one, communication skills.
That's very
Because
important. That's, I think, the foundation, the
that's the
base.
foundation. If you cannot make sense of the uh, cryptic, so if you cannot make sense of all that mess of ideas you have in your head, you cannot really come out with it. So it's about clarity of mind. It's about your hand skills. Hand skills still come on the top. It's about your understanding of the quant, the math, the basics. So it comes down to English and math largely, and a hand skill. And I think We were not trained in Instagram or Facebook in
We were
school
never
and
taught that.
college.
We learned this here.
So if had somebody told us, oh, Instagram is going to be a
So the,
profession,
another subject.
is enough, so they would have added another subject in the textbook and an exam. I think a lot of things they are learned as you grow up because the sellers have to ensure that the things are user friendly. So parents need to stop panicking. All they need to work is on language, on basic math, and add a hand skill. Could be knitting, could be anything. So the child has that patience, endurance, the sitting, the attention span, and then to such a child, you teach him whatever equipment tool you want. So bring your child back from all those fancy hobby classes and involve them maybe in a random simple sport which is conducive to your local context. Not every child needs to learn golf or the surfing. A simple
So,
street cricket is
And work.
equally good.
so essentially, if I gauge that right, you're saying that children need to be contextually aware,
Absolutely.
right?
We are pseudo Western these days, because of which our children, they don't have the connect with the local reality. The environments are artificial. We have choreographed curriculum where even if the child is getting the results, because the environment is so choreographed, getting those results really doesn't matter. It's about what they would be able to come out as an outcome in the real world eventually. So have that self-confidence so that you can fit into any system and become a part.
And I think that can be created by both teachers and parents together.
And in ESFE 2025 today, there are, I think, hundreds of companies here. And if you really walk as a student here, all you can see is you can fit in anywhere as long as you are interested in fitting somewhere. So if you are technically good, become the coder for the company. If you are communicatively good, become the HR for the company, the consultant for the company. Every company out there needs you if you have something to contribute there.
Right. And speaking more about ESFE itself, bringing together so many personalities in the education space, whether it be educative leaders, principals, brings in those conversations that are very important, right? What are your opinions about having this platform to make sure that these conversations are executed and new ideas are brought forth?
I think it's very important. I mean, bringing people together with different ideas, it's actually creating this whole ecosystem where the sharing of ideas are happening. And I mean, we as teachers and parents, we are learning a lot of new things. We're meeting new people. I mean, it's
And
a
I think the
great
moment we
experience.
stepped into NESCO where
Yeah.
this event is happening, we were awestruck.
Right from the start, yes.
We haven't seen a conference of this scale. Usually, when you see an expo, you have a school fair format. There is a square with stalls.
Yeah.
You don't see a maze
Ways
of
like that,
stalls
true. It was
and
unending.
an unending maze and half a kilometer, more than half a kilometer of
More than
stalls.
yeah.
And you could see what education, where it is heading to, from the textbook makers to uniform makers to the transport
To the
truck makers,
robots.
the robot makers, the kind of people who have come here, and the fact that we could showcase our ideas to them, we could provoke them a little and bring them on the common grounds to collectively work on the education system. ESFE has been very successful in that regards.
That's beautiful. So as we come to the end of this conversation, I just like to ask some straightforward, simple questions. What would you say is the single biggest challenge in the education space right now?
The balance of curriculum, maybe?
So the imbalance, I would say the excess,
Yeah.
which is in a way a synonym to balance. It's too much. It needs to be simmered down.
If you could eliminate one traditional practice, what would that be?
Of course, the the fixed textbooks. I think children need to write their own textbooks. I think there should be more workbooks than textbooks.
And I would say forcing the children into the things they don't want.
Oh yes.
And coming to my last question, if you could describe your ideal class in three adjectives, what would that be?
In three adjectives, an ideal
Yes.
class.
Interactive?
Okay.
Mhm.
So we have
Or
to
the
do
second
together.
one.
So you said interactive. I would say art integrated.
You can have the third one.
So if there is interaction, there is art integration, and I think creative, wherein children are creating their outcomes from what they are learning.
And
It's
somewhere
not passive.
unstructured. It should not
Unstructured.
be
if
Rice in a
I've,
box.
see, I've experimented 20 years with unstructured. I know that it becomes a mess.
It's like, yes.
So I wouldn't say unstructured at all. I would say it needs to be very smartly planned. I think for that somebody has to come to
But giving
ESFE
space
and
to
watch
the
us
child.
speak.
No, but giving space to the child to be there.
Okay. So our talk at ESFE was of 35 minutes, and what
It
we
was a
got the
huge-
reviews, it was like one period, and we didn't see anybody bored. That's what everybody said. We could see the
Wonderful.
smile.
That's
So I think that could have been a good demonstration of what interaction and engagement looks like.
I don't think anyone could be bored in your presence. So, with that, we come to the end of this conversation. It was a pleasure having this conversation with you. Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy ESFE.
Like,
Thank you so
absolutely,
much. Yes.
absolute treat.
Mark your calendars. October 6th, 7th and 8th. NESCO, Mumbai, the center of the educational universe. The biggest names are already there. Are you? Secure your spot. Register now at 9892227245 or visit our website.